Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and I've got some good news. Maybe. Wizards decided to try something new again. Yeah, that's not the good news. In fact, calm down. It doesn't immediately look like a money grab this time. Since this is a Wizards announcement, it is in fact confusing, vague, seemingly illogical, and poorly thought out on the surface at least. The real problem for now is that nobody can truly assess it because the details are so vague, but we will definitely have more details in the future. Just 2 days ago, on October 7th, they announced that there will be something called an entry-level league system being tested by some local gaming stores. I think it's at their own option. Aether Revolt's release is when they were going to start testing a trial version of it with an intended full rollout for Amonkhet, which is the next set that starts the next block after Kaladesh. Now, I'm going into all of this with an I want this to be a good thing bias, because it's a sealed event and I live for sealed. I do tend to do very well at sealed events, and you guys know I love deck building almost more than playing the game, so I really want this to be a good idea. The details that we know so far are as follows. The League, as they're calling it, is a 4-week event that's nicer, more manageable, less intimidating than, well, we'll say like a full NFL season, for example, so I do like that part. To start, players open 3 booster packs and then use those to build a 30-card deck. Every week, players add 1 booster pack to their building pool, and they can rebuild the deck or modify it at any time, even between rounds. And also, players can add a booster pack to their pool after 3 losses. The matches themselves consist of a single game, and every game starts with 1 free mulligan. The only stated prizes are Planeswalker points. Oh boy, I'm so excited! And bragging rights. Seriously, I'm not kidding. The announcement page said bragging rights. Wizards said that this whole idea is to cater to fans of Limited, which is totally me. Up until now, that really only officially covers draft and pre-release sealed. That is awesome that they're doing something in addition to that, because I really don't like drafting, and I hate only playing sealed basically 4 times per year at the pre-releases. So Wizards saw something that people wanted, and they made it a thing. They should probably do that more often. Now, there are a lot of questions and a lot to analyze with just the little bit that they've released so far. First, let's hit on the 3 boosters to 30 card deck ratio. Now, pre-release is 6 boosters plus 1 guaranteed rare or mythic to build a 40 card deck. So I think it's safe to say that this 3 boosters to 30 format will likely result in a weaker deck as a whole. That's not a really big deal though, because, it seems counterintuitive, but weaker decks are actually more fun. It's more fair, more level, and just, basically winning the game by absolutely dominating with a 2/3 for 3 mana creature with no abilities is hilarious. You do get to add a minimum of 1 booster per week, though, so near the end you'll have something a lot more playable, and your deck will slowly get more powerful as time goes on. And the whole lose 3 times and add a booster thing is interesting. I assume they mean rounds, although, single game rounds, so rounds, game, same thing. If people pull some insanely powerful packs, the constant losing of everybody else might even the odds really quickly, so that's a nice design choice. With single matches, they could probably fit in more rounds than the normal F&M amount, which lets you play against more people in the day, and that's good because you get to talk to new people and whatever. Plus, you also have better odds of playing with one of your friends, too. Now, while we're on the topic of single matches, I've always liked the idea. You guys know that I did that at my last tournament. We just did single matches, and it worked a lot better. We didn't even hold rounds. You just walked up and challenged somebody. But 2 out of 3 at F&M means the best deck is more likely to win simply by being better. But 1 game with 1 free mulligan is sort of close. I mean, that's about as close as you can get, in that you're less likely to start with just a game-ruining garbage hand. You could get mulligan down to 4 and then just lose the game horribly because of it, and then still come back because it's 2 out of 3. Well, if you give somebody a free mulligan, that's a lot less likely to happen, so it's more likely that the best deck will win. It's fast, it's somewhat fair, it's kind of high variance a little bit, but if you have a bad pool, you can luck out with some really opportune draws because you only need to win 1 game. So it can be high variance, it can be consistently best deck wins, you never know what's going to happen. Now, the 4-week thing is interesting. It's great because it's not that long, but what happens if you miss a week? I mean, how is the scoring even done? Is it just cumulative wins? I mean, I would think so. That would be the easiest way to do it. But how are the pairings done then? Are they just 100% random, or do the best people play against the best people? Now, not every last player can show up every week for 4 weeks, even if they intend to. Something might come up. So getting 4 weeks in a row, I assume they plan the scoring system accordingly to kind of make up for that. But maybe not. I mean, maybe it's just you don't show up, you don't get points. I mean, that's pretty much how I would plan it. If you do miss a week, though, do you get 2 packs the next week? That's the real question. Like they said, you get 1 pack per week to add to your pool. So, would you play catch up? Now, for the prizes, bragging rights is pretty much just being a dick, and Planeswalker points are about as valuable as subprime mortgage bonds. Reading between the lines, though, if you know a little bit about how Wizards does things, Wizards doesn't actually dictate how prizes are awarded, even for Friday Night Magic, their main event. That's left up to the shop owners, so they could be doing anything. They could say, oh, if you're in the top 5, if you go 4-1, we'll prize pool you. If you win a round, you win a booster, or everybody who signs up gets at least 1 booster, or screw everybody, the winner gets a box and everybody else gets nothing. That totally doesn't encourage cheating. The number one question I want to know about this, though, is does Wizards intend for this to occur on Friday during F&M or on a different day? I doubt it's replacing F&M as the sole option because that's insane. If people can do an entire cycle without building a standard deck, that would lose Wizards so much money. I mean, I don't think 7 boosters per league cycle will make up for people not building standard decks as far as sealed product sales and single sales. If they hold the league competition and the standard F&M tournament at the same time, I would really hate to choose, but like I said, my old LGS ran modern and standard at the same time for F&M, so it is doable. And, I mean, it gives people options, I guess, but still, I would really hate to choose between it because I love building standard decks and I love sealed. If League is for another day, like Monday or whatever, people might get kind of burned out on MTG with 2 days per week, but on the flip side, I've always felt like once per week isn't enough MTG for me. I would think that they're doing League on a different night. That's my estimation. Overall, I really do like this idea, but besides people not attending 4 weeks in a row, I see a huge potential drawback to this. People like to cheat at pre-release by sneaking in cards from past pre-release events, so let's fix that problem by doing sealed and letting players take their decks home for an entire week in between. I'm so sure they won't add cards to it. So there are 2 solutions here. First, keep the card pools, the entire group of cards, with your name on it, at the local gaming store. That's annoying and confusing, and it's going to take up a lot of space. So the second option is they could make you register the entire card pool. So everything you open, boom, goes on the registration sheet. That's slightly tedious, and it kind of seems a little unfriendly to new players. It's hey, come up and casually play MTG, and I'll fill this out like it's like you're at the lawyer's office. I mean, you have to sign it and crap. It's not friendly. Tournament players, though, will breeze right through it. That ain't nothing new for them. If somebody sneaks a card in, though, somebody has to call them out on it, and then the judge compares their deck to the deck list, and not everybody is willing to risk looking like a complete jerk to accuse somebody else of having a suspiciously powerful deck. So that's a pretty big problem, but maybe they thought of something clever to get around this. I kind of don't think they did, though. Now, one more slight problem is getting stuck week after week with a horrific starting card pool in the first place. Adding 1 or 2 or 3 boosters to it is not necessarily going to help if it's just utterly useless. Why would people show up if they know they can't win? They know that they're playing at a disadvantage. I mean, I still would because I don't care. I'm not one of those show up with the most powerful deck or don't show up people, in case you didn't catch that already about me. I think, though, overall, the way that the sets are designed, you can at least build a deck that does, bare minimum something sort of reasonable, and 3 losses means you do add a booster, and that might turn it around. It might be a totally amazing booster. You never know. Now, the last important thing to consider is the price, and you've probably been thinking about this the whole time. It may be left up to the local gaming store to actually price the event, but I'm more specifically concerned about paying for the boosters that you're adding. I don't think Wizards will tell them to hand them out for free, but then in that case it would just cost a whole bunch to participate in the league. At the end of the day, you either pay for them with your entry fee or you pay with them as needed. So maybe the lose 3 rounds people get a free booster, but that's rewarding the losers with prizes for losing because, you know, the prize usually is boosters. But on the flip side, you'd be saying, hey, you're losing horribly. Give us more money for another pack. Oh, look, now you're not losing as badly. That kind of feels like a mobile game, like some pay-to-win garbage. As a whole, I think the idea is good no matter what the answers to some of these questions are, so I'm definitely willing to try it. I did actually ask my local gaming store if they were going to test it for Aether Revolt, which is when the trial period is, and they hadn't seen the announcement or hadn't heard anything about it from Wizards yet. So hopefully they're going to get it going, though. I'm going to request that they do. So what do you guys think about it? Let me know, and if you have any more specifics released by Wizards or any comments that I missed, because I really don't follow any of those people on Twitter or anything, leave it down in the comments section, and I'll see you guys next video.